What's up, you guys, and welcome to another episode of the Variety Views. I'm your host, the Variety Vendor, and welcome back again to another movie review. Got to see Fist Fight. Yeah, I didn't know what to expect, and yeah, this movie has been out for like a week now, but I really wanted to see like Lego Batman and John Wick, and I really thought that okay, once I get to see those, if I'm free, I'll watch Fist Fight because really didn't know what to expect. I didn't think it was gonna be like any good. I just thought might be like some fun. Because I've watched like a few Kevin Hart comedies lately, and yeah, like nowadays the comedy scene isn't like that great. I would say like it's definitely the age of superheroes, action movies, and maybe a little drama. It always is. It always is drama. Drama always finds a way through the cracks. As for comedy, yeah, like there would be, far stretches in between before you get to see like a really good string of comedy movies. And I gotta say, this movie was fan freaking tastic. Like from start to finish, I thought it was very, very well done. The characters, Ice Cube's character. Well, I can't say his character because he was playing basically himself. His ever since his I believe Ride Along. I think that's when he realized, hey, I can be more macho, because it used to be like him being like this soft-spoken guy. Like if you're watching like the Friday movies, there was some Friday references here that I really liked. If you've seen like the barbershop movies, he always was that kind soul, that huggable, monster of a man, but still he's very tender underneath. But never was the tough guy. But ever since like Ride Along, and I would say like maybe even his Triple X, was, I believe it was his first action movie, not sure, but ever since then, then he started to become like more macho, and I really think that it suits him very, very well. And in this movie, he was just freaking awesome. Usually, sometimes when you get like these guys that are like, trying to be macho, it just doesn't work. And it's just like, no, 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 I'm trying to be macho because I'm the way that I look. I'm trying to think of some of the people that were kind of like that were used that way. Trying to think. But anyways, like you know what I mean. Anyways, Charlie Day, star of Always Sunny, and also in 2011 there were a few really, really good comedy movies released that year, and I think that was like the last great year for comedy movies. I remember like Hangover 2. I thought Hangover 2 was better than the first Hangover. Horrible Bosses and Bridesmaids. I thought those three movies were just amazing in that year. And yeah, I really think like 2011 was a great year for comedy movies. But here, I think it finally broke the chain of like bad comedy movies, because Melissa McCarthy, even though that I do like her, she hasn't been doing a lot of great, she can't really carry, an entire genre on her back. Even though that I do think that if given the right role, she's great. Like, Spy and, Boss, or even like, there was a movie that was critically panned, but I thought that she was actually really good in. I think it was like Jenny or Melissa or something like that. I don't know. One with Susan Sarandon. I thought it was really good, but then she did like Identity Thief, which I thought was absolutely horseshit. There was some movie, Tammy. That's it, Tammy. I thought Tammy was really good. And we have here a Melissa McCarthy type character in Jillian Bell, and I think the producers tried to get Melissa McCarthy, but maybe she was asking too much, so they got Jillian Bell instead, and I thought she was awesome. Like, she was really, really funny. Like, throughout the movie, every time she's on screen, she's really, really funny. And Tracy Morgan makes a comeback here. Fuck, it's been a long time since I've seen, Tracy Morgan and even laughed at something Tracy Morgan did. Fuck, I haven't even seen Cop Out yet, but I'll definitely do a review of that sometime in the near future. He really was really funny as well here, and he's a great tension breaker, because there are times in this movie where I felt like, okay, it's getting a little too sappy, and then boom, he breaks it. There's a scene with the paint, and it felt like, ugh, this is too much. This is a little bit getting a little bit too dark, and then Tracy Morgan breaks it. He's like, I look like a fucking minion, and just like. Yeah. There are a lot of phallic, symbols here with, a lot of dick jokes, and yeah, it's a little bit sophomoric, but I thought it was funny. It really harkens back to the comedy movies from the '80s, like Porky's, and I love stuff like that. I love it. American Pie and all that. Just like it's a lot of fun. And yes, some of the things are just a little too fantastical, but at the same time, I do think that they did kind of justify the things that were happening. Like, of course, the story, if you've watched the trailers, and I don't think I'm spoiling anything by saying, like, Ice Cube wants to fight Charlie Day, and at the end of, after school, he wants to fight him, and this is like, there's a story arc of Charlie Day finally getting the courage to stand up, and I love it. I love the way that it was done, because usually in movies like these, you would get the wimp that he tries something, fails, then he trains really hard, and then at the end he either succeeds and is just like, in a unbelievable way, or he fails, but everything is all right at the end. This was different. It was much different, and I can't really come up with an example for it, but the only way that I can think of, the only way that I can describe this is that Charlie Day does learn something at the end, and there is an arc to him, and he does finally stand up. But the way he stood up wasn't like out of left field, but you see it in his face. You see him gradually change, and that's what I love. That's what I love about this movie, is that some of the subtleties are very, very well done, and very, it's been a long time since I've seen a smart comedy, and it was just done really well here. It wasn't just like, okay, we're just gonna do this for the sake of this. This was awesome. And trying to think of other things that I can say about this movie that I wouldn't spoil. I just go ahead and say it, because there's just gag after gag, but then you get these little moments of just like, okay, calm down, and then gag, and then calm down, then another gag, and it's just like, it's really good. Keeps you on your toes, and I never ever in any moment of this movie I ever looked at my watch or just was like, oh, when is this gonna end? No, this was from start to finish freaking awesome. I will give this movie, I'll give it an 8 out of 10, because the only reason that I'm not giving it any, a higher rating is because I do feel, yes, some of the things were a bit rushed. Like, they could have maybe did something between Ice Cube and Charlie Day where they're actually bonding, and then Charlie Day kind of stabs Ice Cube in the back, but not really. Just in Ice Cube's eyes, he did stab him in his back, and then it makes for a better conflict. I just think the conflict wasn't there to the point where, like, oh yeah, like, I totally get it. Other than that, the characters were amazing. The journey wasn't. It was a little bit rocky, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was like you're in the car with your friends and you're just, shooting the shit, and it's just that's what it was. It wasn't like anything more than that where it was like holy shit, we went through like an amazing adventure that is it can never be forgotten. I think this is going to be a movie that will be forgotten in a few months, and it's a little bit sad, but I do think it's one of those movies that if you buy it right now, a few years from now, you're probably going to find it in a pile somewhere. Then you're going to be like, okay, I'm going to check it out. And then you're going to be laughing again. It's one of those movies. It's going to be a hidden gem for years to come. So, I give this an 8 out of 10. Great movie. Definitely check it out. You'll be busting a gut. There are moments here where I was laughing so freaking hard that some of the people in the theater would just they thought that don't do that, but there were moments where everybody else was laughing as well, so nothing much more to say. 8 out of 10, a great movie. Check it out, and check out my next video where I'll be talking about something else.